Tom Green's Canadian story. G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. I've recently only discovered in one of the Canadian actors videos that I did that Tom Green is from Canada. Oh my gosh, I have so many memories of staying up late at night watching the Tom Green show. It was on at 9:30 on a Thursday nights. I'd have to sneak up late at night because my parents were like, go to bed, go to bed. I was only like 13 or 14. But man, you'd get a really, really good laugh out of it. It was a really, really funny little comedy sketch show. Let's get into this video. Tom Green's Canadian history. I reckon we're going to hear some really, really cool stories, guys. So let's just roll. Is that him? Oh my gosh. You never would have thought that in a million trillion years. That's Tom Green playing the piano.
Like being apathetic?
Yeah.
Like not doing anything?
Yeah.
Like just sitting around and being sedentary and not doing anything? Well, I'm 43 now, so I think it's all right. I mean, I don't mind just sitting on the couch and watching, TV all day or whatever.
You've worked hard, mate. Why not?
But when you're a kid, you got to get out there and see the world.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun, unique Canadian experiences, I guess, that not everybody could say that they've had because they're not Canadian.
Okay.
Once I jumped on a freight train when I was in my early 20s. Let's say early 20s, so it makes me seem less stupid, even though I was probably 25.
He was 25,
but,
okay.
I would jump on a flatbed boxcar freight train, a flatbed, in the middle of December with my friend.
That's winter.
And we'd have our jackets and our hats, and we would ride the rails from Ottawa, Canada, out to Sudbury, Ontario. And then the train wouldn't stop. So it was the middle of winter, and the train wouldn't stop, and for hours. And we had a backpack, and in the backpack, I had a Snickers bar. I had some Kit Kat bars.
I love Kit Kats.
I had a pack of cigarettes because we thought that would be the kind of thing that hobos would have, cigarettes, and even though we didn't smoke. And bottle of whiskey.
All right.
Actually, it wasn't a backpack. It was a handkerchief that we tied up on and put on the end of a stick, just because we wanted to look like the classic hobos from the 1920s and 30s, the 30s, I guess.
Oh my gosh. Straight off the bat, we are hearing a Tom Green story, mate. I love it. That sounds like something Tom Green would do. So he's 25, but he's saying, let's say I was 20, okay? Because what I did was really, really stupid. He's hitchhiking on trains. He's just jumping onto the flatbed of the train. Like you see in all the Hollywood movies. He's got a Kit Kat, he's got a Snickers, he's got some smokes and a bottle of whiskey, and off he goes. The train's not stopping for hours, but he's all right because he's got food and he's got drink all tied up in a handkerchief tied to the back of a stick so he can look like an old school hobo. I love how raw this story is. I love how he's telling it. I love how it's in French also. That's really, really cool. Let's keep on going with this video. It is fantastic.
Dirty 30s.
The dirty 30s.
So we rode out to Sudbury. The thing is that the train didn't stop. And
there's more.
It was on the way to Sudbury.
Okay.
And it hadn't stopped for a good solid,
5 or 6 hours. Oh my gosh.
And we were cold.
You reckon?
And we were outside. We weren't in a boxcar like you would sort of assume that you would be in.
It's because you've jumped onto it, mate.
Everything was perfect when you went down to the rail yard with your handkerchief, with your Kit Kat bars and your cigarettes and your whiskey. You'd think that you're going to jump on a perfectly good boxcar with bales of hay that you can lie on and sleep on.
Like in all the
everything's
movies,
perfect.
mate.
But
Yeah.
instead, there was no open boxcar. So there was a flatbed with an 18-wheeler parked on top of it. And we sat underneath the 18-wheeler, leaning against the
It's
tires,
freezing, mate.
And we rode off into northern Ontario. And
that
after
is
about
pretty
6 hours,
stupid.
we wanted to. We were getting scared that the train was never going to stop.
You reckon?
And then it stopped. It stopped in the middle of Algonquin Park.
Algonquin Park.
For
I
no
have to watch a
apparent
video
reason.
on that.
And I think maybe it had stopped because somebody might have seen us on the flatbed, because you'd go through intersections and people would be looking at you sitting on the car, and somebody must have called. So the engineer, we see him like a kilometer up. Notice I'm using kilometers because this is a Canadian story.
Yes, we use kilometers,
in Los Angeles,
mate.
You would say miles down here, but I'm gonna keep it Canadian.
Good.
And it was a kilometer too. That's the other thing. So it was a kilometer. And he was walking up the track, and we thought, okay, we can't get caught here. So we ran off into the woods in the middle of December, snowy woods of Algonquin Park. We were hiding in the woods in some trees. The train was sitting there, rumbling. And we thought,
oh my gosh,
you know, if that train leaves,
you're screwed.
We're dead. So we waited for the engineer to walk back up to the front of the train, and then we ran back and got back on our boxcar. You jumped back on it again. The train left, and it went for a few more hours in the freezing cold through wilderness, and then eventually we started seeing roads again and some signs of civilization, and the train started to slow down. So we jumped off the moving train into basically drifts of snow that were along the edge of the track.
You're freezing.
And fortunately, we were not killed.
You think?
And then we hitchhiked from Sudbury. Where
you hitchhiked now.
We hitchhiked from Sudbury to Barrie, Ontario, where my aunt lived, and she made us spaghetti dinners and gave us $20. Then we found in the river in Peterborough, right by the Canadian Tire, we looked into the river and we saw these two bicycles. And they were perfectly good bicycles.
I'm sorry. I'm just loving this story, man. It is absolutely hilarious. I know he said it was dangerous, and I know he said it was stupid, but oh my gosh, let's just stop and review. They hitchhiked onto the flat train, you know, with their smokes and their Kit Kats and their whiskey. They think they're going to get caught. They think someone's seen them. So they drop off. They go and hide. When the man walks away, they go back and jump on the train again. They're on it for a few more hours. They see some civilization. You know, they jump off. They somehow find a way to get to his auntie's place, or they hitchhike. They actually get into a car and hitchhike. They get to his auntie's place. She makes him some spaghetti, gives him $20, and now somehow they've come across 2 bikes. They've found 2 bikes. They're like 5-6 hours away from home. They're not going to pedal all the way home on those bikes, are they? And don't forget, it is winter. It is December. It must be freezing. Snow everywhere. All he said he had on was like a jacket and maybe a hat. No toque, just a hat. This story is absolutely hilarious. I think it was made about 8 years ago. I have heard now that Tom Green is back living in Canada. He's got a huge, huge farm, and he's got his own podcast channel as well, I think. But yes, this story, I am so glad I found this. Oh my gosh.
Brand new. And when we saw them in the water.
In the water,
we thought, oh, we could fish those bicycles out. And ride them up to the highway, which is like a few miles away. And so we went into the Canadian Tire and we bought some rope and some
they
wire.
had $20, yeah.
And we created a hook. We cast them in there. We got around the handlebars. We
They
pulled
fished them
out
out.
these 10-speed bikes.
All right.
We dried them off real good.
Yeah.
And it was strange. They both said happy birthday on them. They had stickers that said happy birthday on them.
Oh,
both
no.
of them. So we figured
What's
probably
happened?
it was like a couple of twins got some 10-speed bikes for their birthday. They had to be born on the same day, so they must have been twins. And they probably rode up to the Max Milk to buy some Big League Chew and some
Big League
Fun
Chew.
Dip. And
I don't know what that
their
is.
bikes got jacked. Because these kids, they didn't lock up their bikes because they were ungrateful twins. A couple of ungrateful twins didn't look after their birthday gifts. And they got stolen, joyridden, and then thrown in the river by the Canadian Tire. Only to be found by 2 desperate hobos who were hitchhiking back to Ottawa. So we jumped on the bikes. If you know Peterborough, you know we drove down the hill to the Wendy's and then realized that the freeway is at the top of the hill. So then we ditched the bikes.
At the top of the hill.
Them uphill and they weren't working that good. We walked up to the Tim Horton Donuts And there was actually a Canadian Tire truck driver in there.
Okay.
We befriended him, and he drove us back to Ottawa.
All the way back home. Wow, there is a Canadian story for you. Oh my God. And somehow they managed to hitchhike in a Canadian Tire truck all the way back to Ottawa. They ditched the bikes. They weren't working that well. They rode them in the wrong direction. They realised that if they're going to have to get to the highway, they were going to have to ride up the hill. They said, no way, the bikes are not working that good. So what, they must have walked up there or hitched up there. Not quite sure what happened there. And then they got into a truck. They befriended a driver of Canadian Tire and drove him all the way back home. That was such a cool story. An authentic Tom Green Canadian story. Like I said, I have memories of watching the Tom Green show when I was about, 12 or 13. I had to close the door, keep the volume down real low, look really close to the TV because it showed at 9:30 and, I was at school. I was told to go to bed. But yeah, that was a really funny comedy show. I haven't seen a lot of Tom Green movies. I did see the Charlie's Angels, all of them. So I know that he was in maybe the first one. I think that's when he married Drew Barrymore. Oh, what a cool couple they were. Unfortunately, it didn't go for too long. I think they were married for about a year. But man, they were a really cool couple. And because I love Drew Barrymore, I was following them all the time. Beautiful pictures, but yeah, didn't end too well. Wasn't a happy ending there. Anyway, that was the video for today, guys. Jump on, please. Tell me your dangerous and stupid Canadian stories. I absolutely love to hear them. That was the video for today. If you guys liked it, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course, remember to subscribe. That really helps me out. Cheers to None Under. Take care. Stay safe. Bye.